If you'd like to see how I'm going to transform this grenade into this lovely, one-of-a-kind rhinestone gold embellished grenade, keep watching this video. Hey YouTube! So today in this video, I'm going to be embellishing this grenade. So this is a dummy round. It's not filled with any explosives or anything. It's very heavy though. It feels like it's about, it's like it's metal, and it feels like it's about 15 pounds, maybe 10 pounds. It's pretty heavy. Maybe not 10 pounds. It feels like it's about 5 to 6 pounds heavy. I started this a long time ago, so I hope I have the video of how it looked originally. It was all like this, like a rust color, and I hand painted it gold because I knew I wanted to make it gold. And then somehow or another, I just didn't continue. I ended up losing this top piece is what happened. So I was like, I don't want to continue doing it without the top piece. So I ended up finding it. So I said, okay, let me just go ahead and finish what I started. So this is something that would definitely be like a one-of-a-kind statement piece you'd have on maybe your coffee table, or you know, if someone you know was in a war. They may think something like this is cool, or it could be triggering. I don't know, but I think this is really cool. I love how heavy this is. So some of my favorite rhinestones that I have are these gold-plated rhinestones. I have some poured on this little tray. I love this tray. I got this from Dollar Tree. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be working with, is this 5mm? I believe this is a 3mm and a 5mm. If this isn't 5mm, it's 4mm. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using some of this Krystal Glaze glue and a wax pickup tool so I can pick up the rhinestones. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm starting off by just adding a little bit of glue, and I'm gonna start at the bottom. And I just wanna make sure that I come all the way down to the bottom of the grenade, but at the same time, I wanna make sure that I'm at the correct angle, because when I sit this down on a table, I want it to be able to sit up flat. I don't want it to have any lean or anything to it because I didn't put the rhinestones in the right place. And I'm starting with the 5mm rhinestone. So I'm just gonna go around in a circle and just keep going until I make my way to the top. Now on certain areas, as you can see, it got a little, not difficult, but I just had to make sure that in the indents and the lines in the grenade, in those areas, I did a smaller rhinestone. So for some projects, you do need to have 2 different sizes if possible. If not, you can probably still kind of figure it out and make it work out. But I really did like the fact that I was able to use the 2 different rhinestones. So I'm really moving along here. Of course, I didn't record myself doing the entire grenade because this did take quite some time. I kind of worked on it over the course of maybe 3 or 4 days, just kept coming back to it. Now, the surface, as you can see, is not flat. So on the parts that were more bulgy, the square areas, I used 5mm. And again, when I got to those lines, I more so wanted to use the 3mm because it actually fit very, very well inside. Now, originally, I started this video, like I said, a year ago, and it was just a whole rust color. And I just used some gold, like some metallic gold craft paint, acrylic paint that I purchased from Walmart. I think it was called folk art paint. So I used that and let that dry for about a day. I couldn't find that portion of the video because it was from a year ago, and I must didn't send it over to my computer. And I'm not exactly sure where this grenade came from. He ordered one that was like this and another one that had a different shape to it.
I think it was about 30 something dollars, maybe 40, I'm not sure. But I really do like this. I love how heavy it is, and it's really coming together. Like, you can just see how beautiful that this is going to be. These are some of my favorite rhinestones. These gold-plated rhinestones have such a really pretty sparkle to them. I do have 5mm gold-plated rhinestones available on my website, myroyalradiance.com. So if you are interested in a rhinestone like this, that's where you can find them. And I also do have the wax pickup tools available. A lot of people ask me, what is that tool you're using to pick up the rhinestones? It's called a wax picker tool or a wax pickup tool. Some people use different names for them. Now I'm adding rhinestones to the inner area of this little handle. You can kind of see back there, and I thought it would be cool to add the rhinestones in there just to give it a more complete look. I'm almost finished, and I can't wait until this is done.
Piece back on to the grenade, and I've started to add rhinestones on this side. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to see this back area, but if you could, I want you to be able to see rhinestones. So I did do that inner part. I did already start the front, and this is very close because I just want you to see the detail. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this area here, the top, and then I'll go ahead and go down the back, and then I'll get some on the sides too. So I'll just keep working. And if you fast forward it to this point and you want to know what type of glue I'm using for this project, I used Krystal Glaze glue, and you can get this from her website. I believe it's crystalglaze.com, or no, it's crownedcrystals.com. And this glue, it says that it's non-toxic and it's a high performance glue, and you do have to allow this to cure for at least 24 to 48 hours. It does have a little slight smell. Okay, so I have this little small area right here. Once I'm finished with this, then I just have the side area to do. If you can see that area right there, and then I'll be finished.
Now, if I wasn't going to do this in gold, I would not have painted it gold. So, for example, if I was going to add pink rhinestones, I would have definitely painted this pink first. It just gives it a nice fuller look, because I told you it was a rusty color to begin with. So if I would have added the rhinestones onto that rusty color, you would have been able to kind of see that color peeking through, which would not have been a nice, flawless look. It just looks a lot better when you apply the color paint first and then add your rhinestones. Okay, you guys, here is the final finished result of this golden rhinestone embellished grenade. And I'm really proud of how this came out, especially because of how long I had this. Started a while ago, kind of walked away from it. And then sometimes when I do a project, I just have to really have an idea and a plan for it, and like really be in the mood to do it. Because this was so different, and when something is like so different from something I've ever done, and I can kind of tell it's going to take maybe a couple days because of how long it'll take, I'll kind of like back away from it for a while. I'm just glad I committed the time to do this because I absolutely love this. Like, this is definitely in my top 5 of DIYs that I've completed, mainly because I love this gold, for one. For two, this is something that is very unique. It's one of a kind, and I have not seen anything like this. I actually was Googling online to see if something like this was already made before, and I just couldn't find anything. And that made me feel even more excited to do this project. When I do these projects, I always forget to kind of at least have an estimate of how many rhinestones I use. If I had to guess, I would say at least 1,500 to 2,000 rhinestones. But I use 2 different sizes, so I'm just really not sure. I'm sorry. I didn't weigh them out before I used them. And I know another thing, I did let this dry for about 48 hours. It was easier for me to like do the bottom like halfway up, let it dry for a day or two. So when I hold it, because it was heavy, and then it was awkward trying to hold it, making sure that when I touch it, I'm not making something slip off or messing up where I started. So it was wonderful letting half of it dry, then coming back and finishing the other half. So that was a cool thing about it. And this glue, it's very strong. I didn't know for sure how it would hold up on this material, but it's very strong. I think the only times I've really used this glue was like on glass to add some rhinestones to a shot glass. But this, I'm impressed. I am impressed. It does have a little slight smell, but it's nowhere near as powerful as E6000 smell. So that's a plus right there. And then also, I know you guys like to ask how much I would charge. And when it comes to things like that, I'm not even the best at gauging with prices. But like I said, I'm not even sure if these are still available. They weren't like it was like $10 to get. It was at least about $30 to $40 for the heavy dummy round of this grenade. So like I said, if it's something that you really can't get your hands on somewhere else, you have nice wiggle room to charge whatever you want to charge. And like I said, this was something that was more convenient to let it dry, come back to it, let it dry, come back to it. It wasn't like just a one-day thing. If it was a one-day thing, it probably, in my opinion, would be at least maybe, I would say 4 or 5 hours, or at least 3.5 to 4 hours, which is not that quick, but it is. I guess it depends on what you're doing and how long your projects take you. You could easily charge at least, I would say, over $100, of course, because it was already $30. Then you have to add in the rhinestones that you use, the time, the glue. So you can probably charge about $200 for something like this. And of course, someone will say, I wouldn't pay $200 for that. It's not about that, whatever you're thinking. It's about the rarity of it, for one, and the quality. And just if you really want it, and if you wanted it and someone can make it for you in whatever color you wanted it to be in, those are just a lot of different factors. So that's something that you could definitely charge, and it's nice and heavy duty. This thing is heavy and it's beautiful. So that's something I feel like you could charge easily $200 for, at least $200, or at least $175 or more. I could see someone, and it also depends on demographic, where you live at, whatever area you live in. Some things are just naturally more expensive. So, and then art is very suggestive. There's some people who have pieces that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, or just, it depends on what someone wants to charge for it and what you're willing to pay. That's really what it boils down to, how much you like it, and what you're willing to pay for it. Now, if you see someone who's making these and they're willing to sell it to you for $50, then by all means, you would go ahead and you'd purchase that. But again, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did get some really cool ideas from this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Share it on Facebook or share it with a friend. And thanks you all for checking out this video, supporting this channel. If you do want to subscribe, that would be awesome. Just make sure you do hit that notification bell so that you will be updated every time I upload a video. And you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Life is a Whole Vibe. Bye-bye. Check out our website, myroyalradiance.com, and we do carry faux leather inspired designer fabric for your crafting needs, luxury inspired croc charms, as well as iron-on patches and much more. Enjoy the coupon code MyRoyalBeauty10OFF. Check out our website, crtacticaldefense.com, where we do sell in-waistband gun holsters, belly band holsters, and many more. Please check out my discount code VIBES for a special discount for my subscribers.